We are animals. Don't care how you want to pretty it up or civilize it. At the end of the day, we are animals. And because we are animals, we will always act instinctually before rationally. And we also have one imperative, and that imperative is reproduction. Not just random spontaneous reproduction, but reproduction with the best possible mates to produce the best offspring. So, because of that, and because we are animals and act instinctually, we will compete with each other. Now, we already know that men compete with other men to attain the highest quality of mates. Nobody is denying that. So, what we are addressing today is the way that women compete with other women, even if they say that they don't. The first way that women compete with each other, BBB. And I'm not talking about the Better Business Bureau, I'm talking about beauty, boobs, and booty. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that women will often, from puberty onwards, begin to compete in terms of physical attributes. They will look for who has the biggest chest and the largest buttocks, who has the prettiest, most symmetrical face, with or without makeup. They will always compare themselves to each other. Now, a lot of women will say that this is because of the fashion industry or society. But even though those are factors, the main factor is the prettier a woman is, the more symmetrical she is, the more desirable she is physically, the more men she will attract. And that means the more leverage she will have over said men. So even though women want to blame everything else, at the end of the day, it's an innate biological instinct. It's already within you as a trait, as a woman. So what you'll find is women will go the extra mile to try to get the edge. Get BBLs, lip injections, breast implants, Botox, you name it. They're gonna do it to try to set themselves apart from the other women and try to be the most attractive they can be so they can get the most leverage on acquiring the most desirable mate. And that is why you'll also notice that a lot of women, even in their friendships, will have less attractive women as friends so that they don't have to worry about competition when it comes to pursuing other men. Because even in friendships, women will never stop competing. The second way that women compete with each other, Helen of boys. Now, that is a reference to Helen of Troy. Now, what do I mean by that? If you don't know your history, Helen was one of the most beautiful women in recorded history. So beautiful, in fact, that she started a war, a real deal war, and fought and killed each other to attain her, which is that's kind of crazy. That's gas. She must have been fine. I hope she wasn't mid. You know what I mean? Because that would suck. Because nobody else knows. Like, there was no pictures back then, right? We don't know. Maybe she was like a New Jersey 5 or something. I don't know. I don't know how they looked back then. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that women will compete with each other for male attention. Male attention is second in women's mind only to security. So you'll find that they'll go above and beyond to get the most male attention possible. Some examples of this, lots of guy friends, provocative Instagrams, OnlyFans, you name it, they'll do it just to get the most male attention possible. Now, what you'll notice as well is that a lot of women are kind of confused. They think quantity and quality are equivalent when it comes to male attention. But if you have a large amount of male attention, chances are it's not really going to have the same type of weight as having one man's attention of substance, of quality. So what you'll find is that a lot of times a woman will have a boyfriend or a husband, but she will value multiple men's attention more than she values her significant other's attention, even though her significant other can provide her with security. Because once again, women don't really have a fundamental true grasp of how attention works with men. So they're going to choose more over less, even though the less is actually more valuable than the more. The third way that women compete with each other: attention to retail. Now, that is a pun that I'm pretty proud of. But what do I mean by that? I mean that women will compete with each other by showcasing who has the most resources available. Now, you'll also find that the resources themselves are not what makes it worthy of praise, but how the resources are acquired. That's what really matters. So if you'll notice, women will praise women for getting their own car and getting their own house and having their own career. That is worthy of praise. But you'll notice that a woman will be even more envious of a woman getting all those things from a man. If a woman gets resources on her own, she's masculine by default, because it is not in a female's nature to obtain resources by herself. But if a woman gets resources from a man, that means she was feminine, because you have to be feminine to get a man to invest resources into you. So a woman that gets a large amount of resources from a man is more worthy of praise and more worthy of respect from other women than a woman who does it by herself. I know. That's pretty interesting, right? But that just shows the level of competition that women will go to prove that they have the most security. The fourth way that women compete with each other: whole math. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that you'll find that it used to be 100, 200, 300 years ago that women used to compete on who was the most chaste, who was the most pure, who was the most virginal. Why? Because the purer the woman, the more value she had to the male gender. But if you'll notice, with the advent of feminism, that ideal has now been flipped to now women compete with who has the most sexual experience, who has the most prowess, who has the wildest stories, the nastiest stories, the weirdest things that's happened to them with men. Now, what they fail to realize is that men do not find this attractive at all, and this actually disqualifies them from a long-term partnership with a man, but they still value it to an extent that is competitive. So you'll find that women will make fun of other girls for being virgins. That's crazy. And the reason why it's crazy is because men do that. Men do that because it is hard to get women to have sex with them. Women doing that to other women is a bastardization of that idea, because men and women are supposed to be opposite, not the same. So now you'll find women competing with who has the biggest hoe stories, who has the best hot girl summer, trying to compete with who has the most bodies. And you'll see that women will sometimes backdoor their friends and try to sleep with a guy before their friend can, just to have the upper hand in their own competition. Bro, women are something special. Let me tell you. Okay. The fifth way that women compete with each other: supply versus the man. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that even though women have a very, very unrealistic sense of how many valuable men there are, they still know that valuable men are rare inherently. So what does that mean? It means that they will go above and beyond or below and beyond, depending on your perspective, to obtain said man and keep him from other women. And even if they obtain this man, you'll notice that that competition anxiety, that insecurity doesn't go away. It'll show itself and manifest itself in forms of insecurity like, do you think she looks better than me? Why are you with me? Are you cheating on me? Stuff like that, they'll throw at the man because they know that the man is inherently more valuable than them. So they'll try to gaslight and verbally abuse him into being lower quality so they feel that they do, in fact, deserve him. But you got to realize that that's not an effective strategy. And at the end of the day, even though they have obtained said valuable man, they will have to continue to compete in order to keep him. And this terrifies women because it means that even though they get a man, they can never really relax. And women are naturally lazy. They would prefer to relax rather than work. So if they have to work forever to keep the man of their dreams, that is quite literally terrifying to women. So you'll find that they will say, I don't have to compete. I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to work. He has to do everything for me. He has to make me happy. Not realizing that that will disqualify them from any type of substantial, long-lasting relationship. And the sixth way, or the last way, that women compete with each other, family matters. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that at the end of the day, women will prize, above all else, security. And there is nothing more secure for a woman than a family. So you'll find that women will go above and beyond to try to obtain that security. And what do I mean by that? I mean that they will deliberately target taken men. They'll target men that are engaged, have girlfriends, are already married, that have children, have baby mothers. They will go after these men. Why? Because these men are proven, meaning that if he's already in a committed relationship, that means that he can provide security to the woman. So she will go after this man to try to take this man for herself so that she can get the security. And the reason they do that is because he is proven, as I mentioned. So why would they waste time on a single man, a man that is unproven, that they don't know the qualities of, when they can go after a man that is proven, that is already vetted by other women? What you'll find is that a lot of the reasons that cheating occurs is not because men are, weak to their desires, but because women target those committed men. And as you know, men have higher sex drives than women. And if you throw enough women at a man, he's gonna fuck them. Like that's not rocket science. You know what I mean? That's duh, right? But women don't really think about it that way. They blame the man, not the woman. So that is the last and final way that women compete with each other. They will try to take each other's security. So I just want to close out by saying that women will always compete with each other. They always will. Men will always compete with each other, but at least we're upfront about it. We're honest. We tell you, yeah, I'm in competition with those niggas. Facts. That's true. I'm trying to be better than all of them. Yes. Women will not acknowledge it. And all this video was doing is just letting you know that even if a woman denies it, even if a woman says she's not, or she doesn't compete with any woman, she just is. Okay? She already is. Even if she doesn't want to admit it, she already is competing. That's just the nature of animals. We will always compete with each other to produce the best offspring and further the genetic potency of our species. That's what we're programmed to do. But people don't really think about it like that, and it is what it is. That's it for today, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm King's Wisdom. I got merch, link in description. I do one-on-one consultations. Feel free to check my Instagram for that. And the link is also in the description there. You're welcome.